Let me check. Is my internet working? My internet is working. I don't think his internet is working because my messages are not reaching him. So we're gonna just sit here, paused, and wait and see what happens, what gets said. Waiting for the word from TK, who is not showing up on my friends list right now. Alright guys, well, remember we're at 16:10 on this replay. If I consult the, if I come back and try to consult the stream, y'all need to tell me what's up. But I feel like our buddy has disconnected on us. He's offline on Skype. Oh dear. So I don't know what to really do right now. I'm very confused. So I guess I can talk to you good people in the stream. Frastic asked, "Hey Bitter, what do you do with the Banshees even with fungal?" And the answer to that is, oh, there he is. You'll never know the answer. Hello.
Hello.
Alright, I hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Great. Okay. I don't know. That was really weird. Skype freaked out.
You disconnected from BattleNet as well.
Yes. So let me bring up StarCraft and
okay.
Get right back into it.
Fantastic.
The last I heard from you was 13:10 in the replay.
Okay. Well, we have moved forward to 16:10. If Skype's going to work for us.
Skype is working. I'm bringing up StarCraft 2, and I'll bring up the replay.
Alright.
Just give me one moment.
Fast forward to 16:10, and I will pause, and I will wait for you to do the same.
Yeah, it's just very weird for me to have a bunch of lings and attack with them and feel like they're not going to get blown up. But looking at this replay, I mean, that army is, I mean, fungal growth is a very, very powerful spell. I mean, from ZvZs, you can always tell that fungal growth is really good in that matchup, and I didn't realize it was that powerful, I guess.
It's pretty OP, man. It really completely changes the way that a Terran is able to go about engaging a Zerg player. Man, those trains are loud today.
I mean, those Hellions just, I mean, yeah, it's awesome. It's very cool.
Yeah, I agree. Hellions are, everyone says Hellions are a counter to Zerglings, but if a Hellion cannot move, and if a Hellion gets surrounded, it is much worse against Lings than anybody would ever realize. So, and there were so many times in this game where if you had just kind of stayed in his face, you just won.
And so when you're microing these, this kind of infestor ling thing, do you just A-move your lings in and then worry about your infestors?
Exactly.
Do you even worry about your lings at all?
It kind of works. I mean, obviously you're going to control your lings somewhat. Oh shit, I just went way past where I wanted to be. Obviously you want to control your lings in some capacity, but in general you're just trying to babysit the infestors and just make sure that your lings are doing something worthwhile. So I'm paused at 16:10 whenever you catch up. And you were doing you had a really kind of a good general idea of how to do this control thing, but you were making one mistake that everybody makes, myself included, which is occasionally you would just attack move with your infestors.
Yeah.
Infestors that can't actually attack, so they were just walking up and standing next to Marines and siege tanks and dying.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know, like 2 is my Baneling hotkey, and so you you know how you move Banelings past Marines, and that's not a good thing to do with infestors.
Move commanding your infestors. No, they don't blow up in a acidic, gooey explosion. They just die.
They just die, and it's sad. Okay, I am at 1610 now.
And paused.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, so I'm on ×2 1610. And what I was saying then is that the Terran player is starting to finally retake map control, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is allowing him to do this?
Well, you know, I don't really have very good vision of the map. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily have a terrible army here, but I just don't know. I don't even know that he's taking the map.
You don't have very good vision, but I mean, you're at 1610, right? 1610. TK.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that he's pushing into your third, right? Or to where the third
Mm-hmm.
would be. I guess the natural third. So the answer I'm looking for, the reason that he's able to kind of retake the map is because he's sort of reestablished some siege tank numbers. And this goes back to what we were saying. The siege tank is the backbone of the Terran army. It's what allows him to engage at will, as he would, as he kind of, however he wants. So, you know, this is when Terran gets scary again, when he has siege tank numbers that are, you know, this is hardly a critical mass of siege tanks, but this is a formidable group of tank marine. You can't really just move into that necessarily and expect to be successful. Now you do have enough energy for one neural parasite, so that's not going to cut it. You're going to need more than that. But you know, when you engage something like this, it's entirely possible to attack into a siege line like this and just neural 2 or 3 tanks and LOL all the way to the bank as your Zerglings do the rest. Because the tanks really they are the driving force behind that army. And if you take them out of the equation, especially if you turn them, you know, if they're fighting for you and not him, it becomes amazing. You know how easily you win these fights. However, you know, we're not in a position to cast a bunch of neurals right now. We just got to play intelligently, play kind of like defensively, and just fungal these Marines as they push up. He still doesn't have any medevacs, so he should not be allowed to do any sort of damage at all, really, with that Marine army. The Marine army should just die. But what we do see that's happening in his base is he's making this Banshee tech switch. And there's a very real reason for this Banshee tech switch, and it's because he feels like he's behind. This is his only way back into the game. With a tech switch, it's going to catch you off guard, as it did, and kind of turn the tide of things. Even with our engagements that weren't quite perfect, and even with our hesitation to kind of be forceful with what we were doing, like when I say be forceful, you had so much map presence that you weren't taking advantage of. You were just kind of leaving your units in your base and just letting him do whatever, which is why he's got this free third. You know. Fuck, lost my train of thought. But even with, you know, all this, you know, stuff that we have kind of going for us, he's shit. What was I gonna say? I had such a good, it was like so awesome. You were going to be so impressed. You'd be like, oh, I get it now, but now it's just not going to happen. But the ultimate underlying point here is you've done enough damage for him to feel like he has to go into panic mode and make this Banshee tech switch.
Right.
And yeah, the Banshee tech switch is tough, sure. But the reason that this Banshee tech switch is going to be as powerful as it was is because we respected him too much. You know, there were times throughout this game where we could have won, and we could have, you know, that shit would, like, he wouldn't be switching to Banshees because the game would be over. There were times throughout this game when we could have denied this third base, and, you know, that he would have no economy to kind of fall back on. So, I mean, those mistakes are what kind of add up and create this this downward spiral that we're about to enter into. So we're at 1610 on ×2. I'm going to go ahead and hit play now.
Yep.
And he's just slow pushing with these tanks and with these Marines. And notice how his engagement's kind of having to change. He has to kind of inch forward with tanks. He can't run way out in front with the Marines, because if he does, this happens and he gets fungled. And you did get a couple good neurals off. And if you were just reinforcing with lings here, you would have cleaned all of this up, but you weren't. You actually didn't make any units until those infestors disengaged, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You have ultras finally on the way. You're finally just now starting to go back to droning, and that harkens to our lesson on map control. If we have map control, we don't need to make units. We can just make drones. So we should have had about 30 more drones, at least 20 more drones than we do right now.
Got it.
Overlord speed obviously never even got researched. Here come the Banshees. They're gonna shut down your expansion, and with this, your hopes of winning the game will be dashed. In the future, a Banshee has 140 hit points. 5 fungals will kill as many Banshees as it can hit. You have not got 5 fungals worth of energy right now, but it would not be hard for you. 19 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm going to pause, and I'm just going to say for a second, dude, you have 3,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. Even with this bullshit situation that you're in, you could have made enough stuff to win if you had spent your money. So.
Right.
But anyways, I feel like we're sort of beating a dead horse at this point. You see why this build works. You see the mistakes you made. So let's see if we can't get some more games.
Sure.
And now I'm left with the daunting task of finding a Terran opponent because Randy had to go do homework. So, dum 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 da dum dum. Do 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 do. Where are all my practice partners? Here come the messages from. Oh, sweet. I will bring in Callus and we'll see how he does. And if you just roll right over him, then that's no big deal. But Callus is a master level Zerg player, so he should probably be able to play a fairly decent Terran. Alright, let's do this thing.
Sure. I don't think we're in a party anymore.
Yep, I need to re-invite
shut down Battle.net.
Say hi, please. There you are. Good. Thank you. Invite to party, invite to game. Thank you, Callus, for coming and playing with us. Okay. Now, if you want to go back to going mutiling, that's fine with me. I'm not going to tell you not to. I think we saw some promise with that infestor build. I would love to see you experiment with it a little bit more. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's do it.
I'm gonna get close positions again. I can just feel it, man.
Well, it's okay. Like, I mean, that last game, you know, you said close position is auto loss for you, and you had that game won in a big way. You know, so now, like I said, you have some ammunition for when you have those positions. Even if you decide you prefer the Mutalisk style.
How long have you been trying this infestor lane play?
Just a few weeks. I'm still kind of polishing it up myself. I will say that I think for week 7 of our 12 weeks show, I'm going to bring on Strife Crow, who's been doing this for a long time at a professional level, and we're gonna pick his brain on that. But that is a few weeks away.
Is there a pro that you like? What's your favorite session so far? 12 weeks of the pros.
We've done some good ones, but I think the best one we've done yet was the one with LZ Gamer, where we first started talking about infestors in this matchup. But there's been a lot of really good ones. The Cats session was one of the best ones we've done.
Yeah, Cats is he's a cool player.
He's fantastic. Really cool guy. So smart. He doesn't get enough credit for his game sense. He is so good. He reminds me of Red. Like what I'm seeing on the Blighted cam. You macroing effectively while not looking at your base is an important part of playing at a high level.
Yeah. If the pros do it, it must be good, right?
Exactly. Hey, but you know what? Rhett doesn't do it. I asked him about spam.